Welcome this morning, everyone, to the Social System Mapping sumApp Tech Talk for April 26, 2021. Today we have me and Tim and Kara, all of us here to help you with whatever. For those of you who are new, we do 3 sessions a month. One is on the second Monday, which is an on-ramp, which is an introductory level session where we have someone from the community share a map with us that they've been making. And so May 10th, we will have Mary Roscoe and Ryan Mateau will share the Children of Nature Network Summit map. On the third Monday, we have deep dive conversations. And last Monday, we had a really great conversation about mapping resource flows or funding flows. And we enjoyed it so much or found it so valuable that we decided to deepen that conversation next month. So Jim Best and Rebecca Wells are going to co-facilitate a deeper dive into that topic. And then on the fourth Monday of every month, we have a Tech Talk where we introduce a new feature of sumApp or an existing feature that we think people aren't aware of. And today we're going to introduce the new CSS Editor. So there's a number of places where you can learn more stuff. Carol should be putting some links into the chat for our other various online resources, recordings of recent sessions. And also, if you're stuck or just need a sounding board, I have office hours every Thursday from 5 to 5:30 Central Time. So just there's a link in Slack in our Slack, and just jump on. You don't even need to let me know you're coming, but do check in case I cancel, because I do sometimes. Okay, so for today's agenda, we're going to do in a moment, we're going to do chat introductions, and then we have a little surprise for those of us who are familiar with our community. And then I'm going to talk briefly about the what and the why of CSS. And then Tim is going to demonstrate how it works and share some of the themes that he's made. And then we'll do a wrap up and a close. And for those of you who haven't been to one of these sessions before, we have the formal piece goes for an hour. We stop at the top of the hour. And then if you want to stick around and have a deeper discussion, if you got more questions, Tim and Kara and I will stick around for another half hour for just informal conversation. So if we get to the top of the hour and you're not ready to be done, just stick around as we close. Okay, so let's, oh, I didn't do the chat. Let's put in the chat intro just your name, pronoun if you will, and your location. And just so you know, Kara has been putting links into resources so that if you're interested in grabbing them right away, you can, but she will also follow up within the next 48 hours with a follow-up email, including a recording of the session, as well as all the links that were shared in the chat. So if you don't want to grab them right now, feel free to not bother grabbing them right now. Welcome, Mario. I see you just showed up. And we're just putting a name, location. Hi. Do you want to do a sound check quickly?
Checking 1, 2, 3.
Great, good, thank you. And we were just putting a name, gender, or name, pronoun, location in the chat. If you feel like it, you don't have to. Okay, so I said I would, so we have this little surprise, and I was hoping a few of our really long-term network members were going to be with us, like Jim Best and Katie Mammon and various others who usually show up for this. So, but they're not here. Nonetheless, as we're talking about some app development and we're talking about whatever we're talking about, often I refer to Alex. Alex is our developer. He's been with us for over 3 years now. And I thought it was about time that we introduce Alex to the community. So Alex, now would be the time to unmute. And if you are okay with turning your video on briefly.
Oh, okay. Hello, first of all. And
there he is.
Hello to everyone. And everyone, hello to Alex.
Hello to Alex.
Yeah. So I just wanted to because as we, are taught, because we do strange things with sumApp, and sometimes it gets kind of convoluted, and Alex will be like, why are we doing this? Or it's so complicated. And I say, because our users need this and our users need that. And so I just thought it would be fun for him to see you guys's faces. So if anybody wants to turn on their video as well, and just for you guys to see Alex, it's like a little bit of a closing triangles thing and getting to meet other parts of our community, which is, we have this very people-y part of the community over here, and then we have this very technical part of the community over here, which is usually just me and Tim and Alex, beating our heads against walls a lot. And so I thought it'd be fun to bring them together. So if anybody just has anything they'd like to say, they don't have to, but I'm just to have any comments for Alex, that'd be.
I'm just excited to meet you, Alex. I hear about you all the
Hi.
time, and I'm on the other side of things. So hi.
Hello.
And
Okay.
Alex, you don't know this, but Kara actually works. Kara's our assistant, so she helps
Okay.
with the community building and the marketing and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I guess Alex doesn't hear about you at all, though.
Is there like
Fine.
a
I hear all about you.
okay? Is there a wall there in the office, and you like wrote Alex 100 times on it?
You see right
I
here,
hope not.
right here. Alex. No, I'm kidding. No,
It's okay.
yeah, yes.
Alex and others, I would like to find another biker here. I mean, a motorcyclist, not a mountain biker, but a true biker, with horsepower underneath them.
Okay.
Anybody?
That won't be me. I dumped the bike when I tried to practice on a parking lot. So that is not me.
You're talking about a motorcycle?
I'm talking motorcycle. I'm talking dusty roads. Stay away from tar roads and cars that weigh 1.5 tons and will kill you. So, yeah, I'm very much an off-road biker. Don't stay away from tar.
Oh, I have a bike that I keep on the road. It doesn't do well off-road, but.
Okay, no, that's good. That's cool.
A motorcycle bike?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I know Alex is a bicyclist.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Do you want to tell everybody where you are?
me?
Yeah.
At home. I'm not at home. You mean where I'm located?
Yeah.
I'm located in Bucharest, Romania. Well, I guess the only thing you might have heard of us is something related to Dracula, but yeah. So quite far from you guys.
Yeah.
Actually, let's check. Bucharest to so you're about 5,000 miles, maybe 6,000. It's okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to go
Right
ahead.
next door.
Thank you, Alex, for being with us. I just thought it would be fun to connect the dots.
It's okay.
That's our business, is connecting the lines. So, Gabra, we'll greet you when you come in your other space. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and let me just, for those of you, since I don't really know everyone's technical level of like computer jargon awareness, I'm just going to quickly explain what CSS is and what it means. Oh, and I just wanted to say, if this is too technical for, like, if you're new and you weren't expecting something so technical, and you want to jump off, we will not be offended, and we will totally welcome you to sessions that are more appropriate for you, if that's the case. I'm not assuming it is, but if it is. Okay, so just for people who have maybe seen the word CSS, but don't really know what it means cascading style sheets. And basically what it is if you're looking at a website, you're looking at HTML, and HTML is basically the text and the layout. And CSS is how you define the look of everything. So from the margins and the buffers, to the background color, to the font sizes, colors, type, font types, the coloring of all of the different elements of the website. So CSS can it can't like put, the various components in different places relative to one another, but it can definitely have a big impact on the look and feel. And I think that's all I need to say about CSS. And I'm going to hand it over to Tim, and he's going to share with you how you can, to be clear, the CSS editor. So what we did was we just made a place where you can edit the CSS yourself, which requires you to sort of learn a little bit about CSS. It's not that hard, and both Tim and Kara are pretty good at it and can be helpful with that. And Tim has made a bunch of themes to start you out with, and it's available in tiers 3 and 4. So it's not available in tier 2 to be able to edit the CSS, but in tiers 3 and 4 you can. Okay, I'm handing it over to Tim, and he's going to show you how to do it, where to find the CSS editor, and share some themes with you. Oh, and I meant to say, we've had some requests from people to change the look of sumApp. We've been told it's a little old-fashioned or outdated or not beautiful, and we've had people wanting it to be more beautiful, and we didn't have a lot of energy to do like a whole website revamp, but it was relatively easy to put to just make this editor space where you can do it yourselves. So that's what we did. Okay, I think I'm just yammering aimlessly now. So Tim.
Okay. Can
shutting
you
up.
guys see, can you guys see my mouse moving around?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the default theme, which is what everybody kind of, well, not everybody, but I guess it just looks a little old. You know, it's got these boxes and whatnot. So so I'm just going to briefly go through some of the themes and then show you how to add them to sumApp if you want. First, I just made a kind of a simplified of the original. I took away all those boxes, so it looks a little more streamlined. Very simple, looks like the old one, the original one, if you remember what that looks like. Just added a few little touches to style it up. And then I made a neutral toned one, so it looks a little more neutral, and added a few little frills on it. And so you could, so this is just one that looks very different. And then I made another neutral toned one. The only thing different is I didn't know when to stop. So then I started to add little frills on the buttons so that they just a little more pleasant to look at. Okay, and then made a kind of rose colored one, and hold on, and then made an earth toned one. And
Wait, you stopped sharing.
did I stop sharing? Sorry.
Yes.
Let me try that again. Then there's this bar from the, so then made an earth toned one, or I don't know why it's called earth toned. I think it was just a palette I was looking at, and that's what they called it. And then kind of a slate colored one. And here's the drop down for the maps. I don't know if people know, but there's a tiers 3 and 4. There's this map where you can put links to things. So some app link. There are other things you can put in there, anything you want, as long as it can be embedded in an iframe. So those are the themes that I made, and we created a sumApp channel called sumApp themes, and the code for them are posted in there. So you can go in there. There's a link to each one of them, so you can see what it looks like, and then you can copy the code from them and put them in sumApp. And so in sumApp, you would go to your account.
Can you pause for a second, Tim?
Sure.
So the the sumApp channel is in our Slack, and Kara put a link to that channel in the chat, and she's also been putting links to the to the views of the themes, not the code of the themes, but the views of the themes in the chat. So you can pull those if you want to look at them.
So you would go to one of you, if you have one or if you have multiple, you can set them for each one. So you would go to your manage button, you would go to your define settings, and then you would just scroll down. And then here in the front end CSS, there's a little thing you can pull down here to make that bigger. You would just, what you'd have when you go there for you would have your default CSS in there, which is just the default theme. So what you do is you would just copy it and then delete it. And then you would go to that theme channel, you would copy the code that you want, and then you would paste it in there. And then you would just hit save. And that was it. Then you would have that theme. And then you could go in and you can tweak it here. I tried to annotate what some of this stuff does. But say you wanted to change the font family, the first one here is the one that's red first. So if you don't like this font, you could put in any font you want. You could change the size. So you could just go in and start changing things and tweak it. If you don't know what that stuff is, what you do is you just make this like 56, and then you would just go look for a really giant font and see which that was, how that changed it. So you could go in and you could start tweaking things the way you want. But anyways, I tried to get people started with some themes that they might find appealing. I hope so. As many hours built into this. Oh, CSS is such a headache. Okay, the one thing to be aware is that if you change the font size and the font family, it might look good on your big screen, but you have to make sure it looks good on your little screen too. Just be aware of that you have to build it not just for like one size, but for all the sizes that somebody might be looking at your screen with. And for anybody who is a little familiar with CSS, you can affect the sizes here with what's called media queries. So there's a big size and a little size. And so that's kind of a very brief introduction. But you can't really break anything, because if you mess it up, just start over. Just delete it and paste it back in there, or you can hit the reset button, and this will just put the default theme back in there. So don't worry about breaking something if you mess up when you're playing around. Just delete it and start over. And if you go through all this work, make sure you don't hit this. Make sure you hit this, otherwise you'll get rid of all of your hard work. And I've done that. So, okay, so that's essentially it for themes. Yeah, if anybody's got any questions, I'll try to answer them.
And that was Tim from the Creativity Forest.
Yes, that's right.
From the getting carried away forest. Anybody have any questions or comments?
There's not much. You just copy and paste. But I'm hoping if people go in there, if you would put a like on whatever ones you like, because I'd like to know the ones that people like a lot, so that maybe that could become the new default theme. But I don't want to change that until I know what people like and don't like.
I think you should at least put your the default revised one, because it got rid of some of that funky spacing and those funky lines. I think at a minimum that's a great update that won't be traumatic for anybody.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, but so let's see if anybody else has comments or questions. Mario, what is ELM that you've been tempted to learn?
It's a simple programming language that creates web pages, and then you bypass CSS. So I'm been very tempted because it's easier to program a page than to use CSS, I think. And Elm is it's quite well supported, and so yeah. But obviously you're stuck with the rendering of CSS by the browser and so on. So, but on my own website, I think I'm probably going to go to Elm.
Another comment I wanted to make was if you have, let's say you have a client and they are and they've been told that we can change the CSS and they're very particular and you feel a little overwhelmed at the thought of having to update the CSS for them, you can hire Tim to, we haven't figured out a pricing, but Tim can tweak it to your client's heart's contents if that, we can hire him to do that if that's helpful. So we're like one of those times when
So I will point out this other thing then that I found.
okay.
There was this great,
Tim,
just to show what's that? Just to show what else that you can put in here. You know, you can put, of course, put your map in here. That's what that was originally designed for.
we
so
added
people
that.
don't-
We added that drop down when we did the graph commons.
Graph
up.
Commons.
So you could have two graph commons or
Yeah.
two maps in there.
And then there was another client who was really interested in a chatting function. And we found a great chatting function that's free and has lots of capabilities, and it fits beautifully in here. So if you ever, so if you need to be able or want to be able to connect with people, again, it's a standalone app like Camus or like anything else, but it's I've looked at dozens of these, and this one is possibly the best I've found. So that too is just an idea, but you can also put other things in here like videos or presentations, anything you want.
Anything that's can be embedded,
Embeddable, that can be embedded in an iframe. Yeah.
Yeah. Can go
So
into
that's just ideas there.
Yeah. And we will probably, we might just start to test out that chat thing in our community of practice map, just so that people can have a place to sort of see if it would serve their community's needs or not. Well, I feel like we showed you, so other questions, things other than, I mean, we can be done. It could be the first ever half-hour Tech Talk. Unless somebody has other stuff they want to talk about. And it's the top of the hour. And so what we do for those of you who are new is at the top of the hour, we all unmute and we say, I count down to 3, 2, 1. And then for those of you who need to go on with your day, we give you blessings for your day. And if anybody wants to stick around and talk more, just stick around. But otherwise we will 3, 2, 1. Thank you all so much.
Bye.
Thank you so much,
Have a
everyone.
good
Have
day.
a wonderful
Love you all. Okay, bye-bye.